Hi guys, my name's SubTutor. I'm the man on the Silver Mountain, and welcome back. Now today I want to talk about something with you guys that I've talked about things similar in the past, and it's just it's just so stupid, and it's so mind-boggling. It's so exhausting to have to address this kind of thing over and over, and as a result, what I'm going to be talking about is microcheating. I saw this term first get coined kind of the beginning of this year, kind of December 2017, January 2018 kind of time, and I just went, it's another fad word, it's another daft thing. You know, it's no one's going to take this seriously. It's a spin-off of things like microaggressions. It's silly, doesn't really work, doesn't have any practical kind of impacts or anything like that. It's not going to last. Oh, how wrong I was. The stupid people of the world have proved me wrong once more by just very small select groups grabbing hold of this and making a lot of noise about it. But as a result of them making a lot of noise about it, we've got legit news outlets putting out articles on it, causing it to circulate even further, and as a result causing all kinds of damage potentially that I kind of want to try and, at the very least for you guys that watch, put this to bed, because it's so dumb. The same way that microaggressions, these things that were apparently there as an implicit monitoring thing, when implicit bias studies and things like that don't really work, they're not helpful. As I've gone through in another video in the past ages ago, and even the person who came up with microaggressions as a thing said, no, we shouldn't be using them like this to jump on people for sinning on an unconscious level or something like that. And so when we've got this microcheating thing, and it's basically saying the same thing, which is defined as, for the most part, this is the broadest definition that I could find: small acts considered disloyal within a relationship, nothing too serious, but not entirely innocent either. And now, to pick that apart, disloyalty within a relationship is subjective and depends on the relationship. Seriousness of any suggested kind of offence is also entirely subjective, as is innocence. So, you know, it doesn't really nail it down. But then I want to go and jump at a couple of articles from the BBC, of all places, because for the most part, you know, the BBC, when they throw out articles like this, are they just report, because it's just a daftness that they don't spin or faff around with. And so, as a result, let's go through this. So they take a look and they go, right, well, what we're seeing it being is small actions that indicate a person is emotionally or physically focused on someone outside their relationship. Now, this is where it starts to get a bit more tricky, because then you have a list of examples. Listing contacts on your phone under a name that isn't their actual name, reaching out to an ex-partner or someone that you were close to in a romantic way, to either mark a significant event or discuss something with them, sharing in-jokes, opening doors, holding doors open for people of the opposite sex. All of these things are being thrown out there as these are absolutely the beginnings of the worst behaviours. And rather unsurprisingly, you've got people that have been split on this on the social media side of things, where you've got people defending it, going, yes, microcheating is a thing, yes, people are terrible, all that kind of thing. And yet then you've got the other people going, well, no, actually, this level of controlling behaviour is abusive. And I don't feel that it's that broad. I feel like it's not quite pushed to the extremes, but of course when you've got people arguing, they are going to lunge for the extremes first, because that's the easiest and simplest position, rather than accepting nuance. But then to further kind of get into it, the BBC put out another article which is entitled, "When does microcheating become actual cheating? Is it possible to be unfaithful just a little bit. And so this one, you've got a collection of individuals commenting on this, including supposed history of dating experts and psychology professor from the University of South Wales, who I have to kind of roll my eyes at to one degree or another. But also then the definition changes, because the definition given by the psychology professor is any act or behaviour by someone in a relationship which might suggest to a third party that they are emotionally or physically available. That's not microcheating, because that's the legitimate beginning of distancing yourself from a relationship you're already in. That isn't what is otherwise being discussed here, which then gets returned to later in this article. And so they go through other suggestions of examples here, one of which is deep liking, which again, another completely new and bizarre term, which is when you go back through someone's social media feed and like posts from a long time ago. To my knowledge, and from the discussions that I've had with people, and just the way that I've interacted with people, that is just strange and creepy. Like, I know when I've seen something come up on my feed and I've been like, oh, that's cool, liked it, and then realised that it's from 2-3 years ago of one of my friends' feeds or something like that. And for some reason it's popped up in mine because of something that I've searched, or because of something that they've reposted, or whatever else, or maybe because I've only just made them as a friend, or maybe it's one of the only things that's on their feed to show up. I always feel that is just strange. I'm not on social media to jump back through someone's history. That's just a tad odd. In which case then, though, you've got them going into this list. And they go, okay, so messaging an ex. And they give each one of these a handy infidelity rating out of 5. And so messaging an ex, well, they've said 3 out of 5. Why? Simple, because it is entirely dependent on situation. If you're messaging them because they're reasonable people, then it was a mutual split, and you were friends before, you tried something, you found it wasn't for you, and you decided then to go your separate ways but still remain friends, then that's absolutely fine. You can be happy for one another. You can enjoy that friendship again just because you've seen each other naked and had sex a couple of times. It all comes down to how you manage that fallout. In which case, that's not necessarily cheating. It's not necessarily the beginning of infidelity. It's, just very easy to go, well, actually, no, messaging an ex entirely depends on the situation. You can't cast this as one thing or another, which is why they've given it a middle-of-the-road rating. Now, this is one that, again, I find ridiculous, where they're like, oh, liking someone else's posts on social media, and it's like they've given it 2 different ratings, because they say if it's during the day, then it's fine, but if it's after dark, then it's bad. And it's like, well, no, hold the phone. Even when, like, Hannah and I are kind of in the same place, sharing a bed and all the rest of it, it becomes a case of Hannah needs her sleep, and I don't all the time. And so as a result, sometimes she'll be out cold, I'll just be going through my phone. Maybe watch a YouTube video, maybe listen to some music, maybe just scroll through Facebook. Maybe if one of my other friends is around online at the time, to have a chat, then I'll just ask how they're doing, how their day's been, how their week's gone. Yeah? Some of those people may very well be female. Shock horror. In which case, the time of day is irrelevant. Using a function within the platform to suggest that you feel positively towards a thing that a friend has put up, possibly even a friend of Hannah's who happens to also be female. It doesn't cause big conflicts, and it isn't an indication of me wanting to get away from that relationship. It's literally a case of going, it's an activity that everyone takes part in to one degree or another, validation and communication with other people. And it doesn't matter what time of day it is, it's just a thing that you're likely to engage in these days. It doesn't mean that I'm doing anything else. Building a platonic relationship online, a platonic friendship online. It's like, here they've given it an infidelity rating of 4 out of 5. Apparently this is incredibly likely to be cheating. It's like, I play a lot of online games. There have been times when I've made friends through playing those online games. Some of those individuals were male, some of them have been female, some of them I still keep in touch with. But they're not any kind of romantic interest. Like, just generating that relationship, becoming friends with someone through a common interest or a common platform, a means by which you're communicating, doesn't instantly make something terrible. Again, this is the kind of crazy girlfriend or crazy boyfriend response of, oh, you're talking to another guy, you need to stop doing that or we're done. Yeah? It makes no sense, because you're going to have to interact with other people. There's no two ways around it. It has to be reasonable. And if you've got confidence in your relationship, if you've got confidence in yourself, confidence in your partner, and you're able to communicate, then it doesn't matter who else you're talking to, as long as you're still talking to your partner, letting them know. Yeah, there's again an example from Hannah and I. When I've been out with female friends, because in more recent years I've ended up with having a lot more kind of close female friends that I engage with, talk with, share interests with, all that kind of thing. None of them see me as a romantic partner. I don't really see any of them as a romantic partner, which is why I'm with Hannah. But what it comes down to is, yes, I develop those friendships because those are people that I care to be around. They're nice people, yeah? Good, friendly people to have fun with. And then how do I make sure that there's no worries around me running off or any worries, insecurities, anything like that? Simple. I tell Hannah where I'm going, who I'm going with, if I get the opportunity, because this person is a good friend and a fun person to be with. Guess what? I'm going to want to introduce Hannah to them as well, so that she can enjoy this person's company as much as I do. Yeah, it's all just about being transparent and open and realising that friends and having friends and being friends with people and having that nice friendship group is better. So the building of a platonic friendship online is no different really than a platonic relationship, platonic friendship that you are building in person. No two ways around it. And this kind of also links in my mind to the having someone listed under a different name in your phone, because there were certain people that I knew that I had met online, and in my head I knew them more as their online aliases or by names that they had introduced themselves as. And so as a result, that's what was in my phone, because I might know 4 different people called Irena or Emma or Steve or whatever else, but I only know one person that goes by BK. And so as a result, guess what? That all goes into my phone as what's quickest to reference. That's not a micro-cheating thing. That's not me hiding something. That's me making it easy for me to use. It's not bizarre and strange like that. Now the next one is not deleting your profile on dating apps. Infidelity rating 10 out of 5. Wow, people can't do maths apparently. But what it comes down to here is you've got these 2 people going, this is cruel and unacceptable, this is completely inexcusable, this is terrible. And I'm sat here going, surely it depends on how that works. Because, when Hannah and I got together, I still had dating apps on my phone. I still had dating profiles, and some of them weren't there for me to use to find anyone or anything like that. They were there because I had been doing work with other coaches on online dating as a relationship coach, and we had been on those platforms discussing it, opening it up, all the rest of it. Hannah's initial response was fairly negative. until I explained what the hell was going on and showed her. Yeah, I showed her the stuff that I had, the information I had been sent, all of the other bits and pieces that were kicking around. Again, came down to openness, transparentness. Yeah, allowing, or transparency rather, allowing that person to know what the hell is going on, so they don't have to worry. When it comes to dating apps now, though, yeah, I don't have any on my phone, or anything like that. I would imagine, though, because of the breadth of the work that I was doing with those other coaches at the time, I would imagine that if you were to go through my spam email that I usually just delete and don't even look at, unless there's something that could be turning up there, you would probably find the odd message from something like eHarmony or Match.com or any of the other ones that I was monitoring and experimenting on with these coaches, simply because it's they've now got my data, and so they're going to continue to send stuff. They want to bring back like customers and things like that. So of course they're going to. And so looking for evidence of this, you're probably going to find some. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's actively being used or anything else. If you are actively using a dating app whilst in a relationship, then yeah, that's a different situation. Again, that's more of the cheating aspect than the micro aspect, which is why the micro cheating buzzword doesn't make any goddamn sense. Because if you're going out and doing some of these things, because we're going to scroll down a little more and then look at another couple of things just towards the end of this. If you're doing stuff that is very active, thought out, premeditated, then that's not an unconscious thing that you're doing. That's something that you are actively following. It's a path that you've laid out in front of you to chase. And as a result, it's not micro cheating, it's literally you aiming to cheat. Holding doors open for people, making friends with people, messaging exes and so on. All of it comes down to being very much either situationally based or otherwise. But then when you get to the bottom here, the last one that they put in here is fantasizing about someone else whilst having sex, and they go, no, this isn't infidelity at all, because fantasizing about someone isn't cheating. Fantasy is a private affair, and as long as you don't act on it, that's fine. It's like, right, hold on, but we're talking about micro cheating, which is unconscious things that trigger in you, either as an action or a thing that's going on in the background, that you kind of express in some way that distances you from the relationship you're in at the moment. If anything, something like fantasizing, especially if it says while having sex. So if you're fantasizing and distancing yourself from that relationship whilst you are engaged as deeply in it as you possibly can be, chances are that would be a micro-cheating expression. But again, the definitions around this are so wishy-washy, and you've got the people kind of throwing out the, yes, micro-cheating, it's a thing, it's like microaggressions, they're all bad. And it's like, no, that doesn't make any sense. And then you've got the people going, oh, well, yeah, but things like removing your wedding ring is a micro-cheating thing. And it's like, no, that's you actively going, I'm going to remove my ring. I'm going to follow this path. That's not a micro thing at all. That's an entry behavior. And then, in the first article that I was looking at for reference for this, at the very, very bottom, couple of paragraphs in length, you've got another expert who's written, author of a syndicated relationship advice column in the United States, who went to Twitter to criticize the term, warning that in his experience, and I would agree with this, that picking up on these things and trying to, claw at people for messaging other people and doing other things like that is indicative of a controlling partner, a partner that's lacking in confidence and has to kind of pressure other people. And we've talked about controlling partners. We've talked about the manipulation and pressure that sometimes gets put on us, or that we put on other people, and why that's not a great thing. And he said that if your partner tells you that you are micro-cheating, it should be seen as a red flag in the relationship, adding, "You know who regards these sort of behaviours as cheating, abusers." And I'm inclined to agree. Someone that is going to come to you and go, "You're micro-cheating on me," they are the kind of person who previously would come to you and say, "You're cheating on me," because you were talking to another girl online, because you opened that door for that other woman, because that you went and spent 10 minutes talking to that guy in that shop, whatever. It's those people. They have been yelling that, "Oh, you've been cheating, you've been doing me wrong, and so you need to make it up for me. I'm justified in my anger against you," for so long anyway. Now they just have a new word to use to back it up, and it shouldn't happen. Not at all. These kind of behaviours shouldn't be given new words, new justifications. They should be stamped out, plain and simple. These behaviours aren't acceptable, they're not nice, they're not helpful to anybody. In which case, let's stop being silly buggers and allowing this stuff to continue to propagate and become more and more useless to anybody, more and more wastes of energy and time. And let's just focus on being more positive with each other, trusting each other, being transparent and working with each other. My beard's doing something weird at the moment where it's very one-sided, but hey. Anyway, guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, because again, this doesn't make the slightest bit of sense to me. If you're actively going down a path towards cheating, then you have numerous times at which to say, "Actually, no, I don't want to do this. No, I'm going to stop. No, I'm going to put my wedding ring back on and walk away." All that kind of stuff. You have multiple occasions to do that. If you don't, then that's not micro anything. That's you following a path that you have chosen. If, however, you are just opening a door, starting a friendship with someone online, having a set of interactions with people outside of your relationship, that doesn't make you any kind of micro-cheating. That makes you a normal, well-adjusted person. Normal, well-adjusted people interact with other people. They are able to have friends. They are able to develop friendships. They are able to go and interact with other people and pay their full attention to that person outside of their relationship for as long as is required for a specific interaction. For instance, you might have a female boss. That doesn't mean that you going and sitting in a meeting with your female boss that is just crucial to your job is any kind of, and paying her your full attention for the entire time, is any kind of expression of cheating or infidelity. Any suggestion that it is ridiculous. Unless you have literally thrown your clothes off with your boss and jumped each other. Which again, I would imagine you probably don't want to do. If you're in a relationship that you're actually kind of happy with and stuff. In which case, if you're not though, if you're not, final word on this, if you're not in a relationship that you're happy with and you are tempted to go and actually cheat and all that kind of thing, simply put, end the relationship first. Then you're single and you can go and do what you want again. Simple, easy, straightforward, right? But anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the new hip buzzword of micro-expressions, guys. Have you had it thrown your way yet? I'm quite thankful that Hannah's quite sensible, and most of my friends around me are quite sensible as well, so none of this stuff gets thrown around in regards to me socially. But I've had a couple of people that I've been talking to in a more professional capacity who have experienced this, which is why then seeing it pop up a couple more times in the news has made me want to talk to you guys about it right now. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. How widespread is this so far? Let me hear your experiences. And otherwise, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the video later. Take care. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video or found it interesting, then please drop us a like, share this video, and subscribe for more. And I'll see you in the video later. Take care.